if I leave it laying in front of me?
Say it again. Try it again.
Can you hear me now? No? Okay, I'll put it on. I just apologize for hitting it if I do, because I'm good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening. I am the vice chair of the Board of Education, and Mike Waller is out of town today, so I will be running this meeting. So good evening, and welcome to the May 16th board meeting of the Henderson County Schools. At this time, I would like to take a moment of silence. Lots of things are going on. Thank you. I would like to introduce our student ambassadors, and then I'm going to have them do the Pledge of Allegiance for us. Emmy Kirtley, Jerry Thomas, Luke Dalton, and Mabry Rice. And if you all would come up to the podium and lead us in the pledge.
Thank you very much. Right there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Our next item on the agenda is the approval from our last meeting. Or, no, I'm sorry, to approve this agenda. Does anybody have any questions? I'd like a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Yes, it was. Thank you. Our next part of our board meeting, which is always our favorite part, is our student and staff recognition.
Good.
All in favor, sorry.
Aye.
Have to slow, just tell me, just look at me and say, slow down, Tracy. Now, the next part is our favorite part, and Megan's coming up to the podium for our students and staff recognition.
Congratulations to Ava Baker, 4th grader from East Heights Elementary School, for being the state winner of the Kentucky School Nutrition Association Take Off with School Breakfast Art Contest. Ava, if you and your family and Miss Odom and Miss Baumgardner would like to come forward at this time to be recognized.
And then we took your artwork that you did and we had a little thing done for you.
And Ava, we have this Medal of Excellence, and great job pursuing excellence in all you do. Everybody else kind of scoot over here for a second. We'll kind of center it up. And thank you very much. Give a hand.
Now our community partner spotlight. A big Jefferson Jaguar thank you to First Christian Church for their donation of $10,230 towards a new playground at the new Jefferson Elementary School. Henderson County Schools and Jefferson Elementary School would like to thank First Christian Church for their continuous support that you give Jefferson and all of our schools, our families, and our community. Miss Courtney, if you'd like to come forward and introduce your guest with First Christian Church.
First Christian Church does a lot to partner with our school, but our playground probably wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for them. And so our kids and families are so indebted to them, and we thank you for their wonderful partnership. So David Clifford is the pastor at First Christian Church, and his wife, Anastasia Clifford, that's also on our site-based council. You all can come up here. So So we're so thankful for all the members of the church. They've done so much for our school and our families.
Get in for a picture. And Mr. and Ms. Clifford, you're so very present at Jefferson, and so we certainly appreciate that partnership. I'm just taking a second to maybe tell us a little bit about the experience your children are having in Henderson County Schools and at Jefferson, and maybe some of the excitement building up to the new school.
Sure. We have 3 children at Jefferson right now. Our oldest is actually graduating from 5th grade and will be moving to South. So he's excited about that and is already getting in cross-country and soccer and some of the activities there. So he's very excited about that. It was very important for my wife and I when we moved back to Henderson, we moved back here to get our kids involved in the school system here and to be very active as parents. And I'm thankful to be a part of a congregation that also recognizes the importance of having an active role in the life of the children. So I've got a whole stack of thank you notes from the kids at Jefferson for helping build the playground, and that's what makes what we do possible at the church. So you all are lucky to be able to be in leadership over a great group of kids, and we're lucky to be able to support you in that work. So.
Well, we are very thankful for your partnership and your presence. I see you at the soccer fields. We see you at Jefferson. You're on the site base and the advisory committees. That's the kind of partnerships that truly provide extraordinary educational opportunities. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
Good,
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is public participation. And we have one person, Velvet Dowdy, if you would come to the podium. And typically we give 3 minutes at the podium, and Miss Robin will take care of that timer for us.
First of all, thank you. Is this on?
Let me see here. Is it on? Try that one.
That one is.
That one.
Okay. All right. First of all, thank you guys for the opportunity to speak. What I come to you today and to encourage you is to look very seriously at raises for teachers for the next school year. I don't know what your thinking has been, and I know that the legislature in this past session actually increased SEEK funding per child by $100 and then another $100 in the following year. I also know from being in this state and watching what's going on at Frankfurt for a long time that the legislature giveth and they also taketh away. So I also understand that in order to give teacher raises, you really do have to have a pretty solid idea that that money is going to be there year after year after year. So I understand the challenges. Well, let me just talk to you a little bit about what teachers have been through the past couple of years. And I know that most of you know this, but I want to make sure we reiterate this. I have actually been in the classroom the last 2 years, and I came back in the middle of the pandemic. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but I did. So that first year was so very hard. I made it okay without having a meltdown till about mid-September. And then I just had a full-blown meltdown. I don't know how to teach kids chemistry virtually. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that without looking at what they're doing right there in front of me to be able to correct them. And so it was very, very difficult. It got easier as the year went on, but we had to adapt so many things that we had materials that had been developed in previous years, and we had to go back and readapt them to fit the virtual format. This year has been a little better, but it still started out pretty rough. In the first part of the year, we had a lot of kids that were in and out, in quarantine and out of quarantine, and so managing all that has been a juggling act. It's only been since Christmas of this year that I felt like a real teacher. And so what happened in the legislature is that the legislature awarded all state employees a large raise. They also awarded themselves a raise, and they left teachers out of that equation and threw it back onto your shoulders. Now, again, I know that they put money in transportation, they put money in the building fund, they added back some of those things. The only place teacher raises can come from is seek funding. But our teachers felt and I was one of that too. I'm not going to benefit from this, okay? So I'm here speaking, telling you, I felt slighted by our legislature this past year. And so, knowing all the things that we've been through and all the things that we have had to adjust and do to make things work for our kids and for our families, it would be a morale booster to our faculty and staff if you guys would seriously look at giving whatever raise you can afford to give in this next school year.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Anyone else on public participation? We just had one. Okay. Our next item on our agenda is to approve the minutes from our prior meeting, which was May the 11th. Any questions? A motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is under reports, and that item is the new Jefferson School update. Back at the last meeting, I believe we had some extensions on time, and possibly one was left off. So that's what you're going to talk to us about?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And this is Eric Rang, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Filling
Thank
in
you.
for John today. He's got to be at his kid's recital.
Oh, best place to be.
Yes, the change order is for extension for an electrical contract. Last meeting, John said that all the others were given extensions based on weather conditions and just delays from that, and this one was left out.
Okay. Any questions? I need a motion to approve change order 19-2.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, do you have an update for us as well?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
The building is progressing. It will be done, I believe, in about a month's time. We were talking today at the progress meeting about all the contractors working their way out of the building and figuring out a way to back themselves out of the back door so they don't ruin any of the finishes. And I believe the plan is for me to be there in about 2 weeks' time to do a final punch on everything.
It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Any questions for Eric? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up on the agenda is our athletic report with Mark. Whoops. Nope. Not Mark Andrews, but Mr. Ransom can step in there.
Mr. Andrews was not able to be with us tonight, so it leaves it up to me. So Dr. Lawson and Henderson County Board of Education, appreciate you having me here tonight, and we'll start off with personnel. And as far as volleyball, we had hired Macy McNall, but she resigned shortly after that due to some personal situation. This past week, we was lucky enough to hire Gabe Weiss. He has accepted the position as a head volleyball coach. He's got over 20 years of experience, so it was good to get him on board. As far as information, our bass fishing team had one boat with 2 fishermen. Gavin Stevens and Quinn Harmon qualified for the state tournament. They competed this past weekend, and they finished 6th out of 87 teams at state. So very proud of them. The boys archery team advanced to the state tournament, where they finished 12th in the state, and two girls qualified individually for the state tournament. The district For baseball and softball, that starts this week. Webster County and Union County, they're playing tonight. We did get the bye because we were the district winners overall. So both HCHS teams will have the first round, like I said, the first round bye, and will play in a championship game tomorrow. And I believe the girls start at 6 p.m. and the boys start at 7:30, and those games are at Webster County High School. The baseball team is currently 20-10. And that's a good record, but considering they started at 3-7, they finished the year at 17-3. They will compete, like I said, they'll compete in the second region tournament May 22nd, and that'll be in Hopkinsville. Our softball team is currently 28-2 with wins over top-ranked teams, including McCracken County and Madisonville North Hopkins. We did beat Greenwood also this weekend, so played a lot of ranked teams, and they will compete in the second region tournament the week of May 23rd. Our track teams, they had a great season. The girls finished first place in spring relays, Colonel Classic, the Invitational of the South, Owensboro Invitational, and also our Invitational Tournament. Their regional meet will be May 24th at Apollo High School, and I think we got a little plan to maybe send them off also during closing day, so excited about that. And we hopefully will get multiple individuals to qualify for state. Our tennis teams have doubled in size from last year. The girls are second in the region, and the boys are much improved. Hopkinsville High School will host the regional tournament May 16th through the 18th, so that did start today. And Henderson County High School continues to be in compliance with all KHSAA bylaws.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ransom?
Thank you all.
Good luck on these tournaments coming up. All right, next on our agenda is old business, and at the April meeting we approved the first reading of policy 08.113 graduation requirements. So Chad Thompson's going to talk to us a little bit about this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your consideration this night on the second reading of the draft for the change of the graduation requirements here at Henderson County High School. Once again, the change for the second reading stays as the first. We will be eliminating those students, as you can see on, I'm not sure, be page 2, for those that are graduating on or before the first day of the 18-19 school year. We will be deleting that one. Also for your consideration on page 3 and 4, the addition to the policy of adding 1 credit of English each year of high school, and also 1 credit of math taken each year of high school for English and math in the 2 graduating years moving forward. We would ask for your consideration of your approval of the second reading this evening.
Any questions for Mr. Thompson? Kirk?
For this year's graduating class, what are the promotion graduation requirements? Total number of credits and the provision if they had to take math and English in their senior year.
Yes, right now the total number of credits have not changed since probably 2012. There's a total number of 27 credits at Henderson County High School. You can also read in that first piece that was that is scratched on page 2. Those are the graduation requirements. You know, language arts, 4 credits, English 1, 2, 3, and 4 be taken each year of high school. Social studies, 3 credits, math, including algebra 1, geometry, and algebra 2, and then 1 each year of high school. Then science, 3 credits, with the lab-based scientific investigation, a half credit of health, half credit of PE, visual and performing arts, 1 credit that's aligned with the student's ILP. Also, academic and career interest, standard-based learning. Basically, those are electives, and then technology, which is a technology course for student competency.
Question? You're good.
So I was thinking about this, and when I reviewed the YouTube video, I had questions at the first reading. Excuse me. So on the high school website today, it says graduates must have at least 4 math credits to graduate.
Correct.
They must take a math and English course every year of high school. This means if they have 6 math or English credits at the end of the junior year, he or she will still have to take a math and English class the senior year. Can you show me in the current policy, before it's reviewed, how does it state that?
For this graduating class?
It says for the class of 2020-21.
Okay, if you will look on page 3 and page 4, it says students entering grade 9 on or after the first day of the 2019-2020 academic year, and also on page 4, those that are entering on or after the first day of 2021 and 2020 and 2021, and every year after going forward in those 2 pieces. And so I assume what you're asking for, we are asking for your approval of adding in 4 total credits, 1 credit of English taken each year of high school. Now, they have to take English 1 and 2, and they have to take their other English courses have to be aligned with what they have in their IOP. And just as we had said in the other meeting, now that doesn't mean necessarily English 3 and 4, those are the sequence of courses that we offer. So for example, if a student, and math is the only way that this is possible. Let's say a student in 7th grade takes Algebra 1. Student in 8th grade takes what we call algebraic data and measurement, which is our 2nd course, 8th grade. They go into their freshman year typically taking advanced geometry. Then their sophomore year, they could take Algebra 2, they could also take AP Computer Science, they could take AP Stats, they could take Advanced Mathematic Problem Solving, they could take Calculus 1, they could take Calculus 2. Their junior year, they would take the next progression. Their senior year, they could take all the way up to AP Calc 1, AP Calc 2, College Algebra, the Advanced Mathematic Problem Solving, AP Computer Science, AP Stats, Calculus A, Calculus B, Calculus AB, any of those different sequences of courses.
Go ahead.
Before we take a vote, I'm going to give my reason for a no vote and to table this perhaps to the next meeting. I'm a little disenchanted with the wording on the school website when it doesn't actually match the current policy, because current policy didn't state that we had to have 4 math credits. So it looks like that this was being disseminated and not following board policy, and I went a little time to review that. And then at the last meeting, I asked about advanced math and English courses, of which we offer plenty. I'm not certain that for the senior whose next step is not collegiate or university coursework, perhaps not military service, but going straight into the workforce, that we have enough selection of, I'll just use the common phrase, adulting math and adulting English. So if we take a vote, I would vote no for those reasons. If the board members are open, I would be willing to make a motion to table and review this at our next board meeting.
Okay, so I believe what we need to do, if you want to make a motion to table it instead of vote, period, that's what you're doing now.
I make a motion, we table this item until our next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Do I hear a second? Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. So we will table the second reading of our graduation requirements till the next meeting.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. So, thank you. All right, under new business, we have Ben Payne is going to talk to us about BG 22-397, which is concerning HVAC systems and controls. Right?
Good evening. Thank you. I'm asking the board's consideration to enter into two separate contracts tonight with Train. The first one being at Central Academy. It's replacing 3 rooftop units. And the second one is at Niagara, Cairo, and Chandler, and it's replacing the controls in the classrooms.
Okay. Any questions for Ben before we? Okay. We're going to do these two separate, Beth, is that right? Oh, I'm sorry.
You're saying the last 3 are the controls in the classrooms? Is there a central control unit that's also being replaced?
Yes, sir. There is 32 classrooms in each of Niagara and Cairo, and they're going to get all new controllers for. Can you hear me on this? Okay,
yes,
there we go. There's 32 classrooms in Niagara and Cairo, and they're going to get all new actuators and controls to make them more efficient, which will go back to a building controller to make them where we can control them like we normally do. And then at A.B. Chandler will be the same. There's 36 classrooms and a few air handlers there that will be also updated to the same systems across the board. The ultimate goal is to get everything kind of on the same common system to where it's user-friendly and, we know the attributes of the good and the bad of it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Beth, I'll do do them separately. Is that okay? All right, I need a motion to approve the contract with Train for HVAC at Central Academy, which is BG 22-397.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the second one, which is the same BG 22-397, approves the contract with Train for HVAC controls at A.B. Chandler, Niagara, and Cairo.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The students and staff will be greatly appreciated.
I was just getting ready to say that. Thank you.
And my understanding is we're going with Train so we can have the same types of systems throughout the systems.
That is correct, yes.
And keep our inventory of logistics problems down. Is that correct?
That's 100% correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Ben. Our next item on our agenda is our consent agenda. Do any of these before I read them all, need to be pulled or questioned? Yes, Kurt?
I would like to pull item 10, technology plan for 22-23.
Okay. All right, any other questions before we go through the items on the consent agenda? Beth, do I need to do anything else besides pulling that? Just
No.
okay, pull it.
But it was approved, the ones
Right.
set.
Okay, gotcha. All right, on our consent agenda, we have approved grant applications, approve the 2022-2023 school activity budgets and fundraisers, approve 2022-23 student fees, the bid list for 2022-23, the bid recommendations, transportation requests, SFCC offer of assistance, which is CTE improvements on that one. Approved student overnight trip requests. There's 3 of those. We will pull A9, which is the technology surplus list. No, I'm sorry, not that one, right, Kirk? No. Wrong one. 10, sorry. Approve the technology surplus list and approve the 2022-23 educational leave of absence.
And the approve unpaid personal days request as well.
Oh, mine's cut. Oh, sorry. On this one I was looking at, it's totally cut off there. Okay, so we will, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the technology plan for 2022-23.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have Miss Cindy.
We're going to go back to the
Oh, wait.
number 10.
What? Oh, we're going to talk about it? Sorry. Thought we were just pulling it. Okay, Kurt. Sorry.
I have some questions related to the plan.
All right.
When I looked at the plan template on the KDA website, it had
I'm not laughing at you.
What? I thought I'm trying to be a good school board member.
I was just forgot.
Now y'all gonna make me cough.
Go ahead.
I noticed that the template had other sections for the planning team, including board members, curriculum specialists, teachers, members of the community. My first question is, who chose this team and why is it limited to mostly administrators and our central office staff?
What page is that, Ms. Drains?
The pages are not marked, which I wish they were, but if you print it out, it's the third
Three in the
sheet
portal.
of the PDF. And it's labeled planning team. Then it has a section of district staff. And there it is. Thank you, Ms. Robin.
So your question is, so where does it provide the specifics of who needs to be included on those teams?
When you look at the template provided by the Kentucky Department of Education, there are 3 other sections in the template. And I understand we don't have to, we're not obligated or required. I'm asking, why did we choose not to include other people groups and persons in our planning of this technology plan?
Is that something that I can study this further and get back with you on? I don't know that any deliberate choice was made. Like I said, I can research and see what the formation of those teams are. And can you and I follow up about that?
Yes, I have another question, please.
Okay.
So in the previous year's strategies and evaluations on page 4 of the document, although it's not numbered, page 4, in our district's response, we state, brought to fruition, allowing us to begin tracking assessment data with digital tool usage. And then on the next page, we give the answer, what method to collect student responses about the digital learning environment. We currently use the Bright Bytes Modern Learning Survey. At what point in time was the survey administered? To whom was it administered? And when was the board given the results of the survey?
Okay, is that something else that I can follow up with you on, or do you?
I'd kind of like to know about that myself.
Okay.
For those reasons, I make a motion that we table approval of the district technology plan until our next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Second.
Beth, is there something else I need to do? Are you looking at something?
Oh.
Okay.
Because I don't know off the top of my head if there's a deadline for that approval. That's the only thing I was looking at.
Is there a certain, if we were to table this and I could research the information that board members are requesting, is there any type of deadline we're going to miss, Mr. Gordon?
Okay. Oh, he needs a microphone. Chris, will you come up here? to the podium? Thank you.
The Modern Learning Survey was given in November. I do know that for sure because I sent that out.
Okay.
But the deadlines, I'm not sure about those.
Yeah, we can wait if we need to on the approval. That's fine. The Modern Learning Survey from Bright Bites was given in November. We give it in the fall. We have periodically given it in the spring as well, but we give it 1 or 2 times a year for the last 4 or 5 at least years.
Dr. Lawson.
We're not going to miss a deadline.
Yeah, that was.
We're going to miss a deadline, Mr. Gordon, if we can't turn this in with the board vote tonight.
No, we're not going to miss a deadline there.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's probably the biggest thing is that.
I have 2 other questions while you're in digging up some answers.
Okay.
Our response from the district on page, the 5th page of the PDF states we currently use the Bright Bites Modern Learning Survey and plan implementation 2 times per year, once in the fall and once in the spring. So I would like to see those survey results. If you turn the page, the section is titled Upcoming Year's Strategies Preview. We began our district answer with stakeholder groups were asked to look over the existing technology plan. I would like to know specifically who are those stakeholder groups.
So we
I acknowledge and appreciate the depth of the plan. There are questions I had just so my understanding going forward in future years.
So I think what we're going to do is just that you all can get together on this and get the information needed, and then we'll just hear that at the next board meeting. Put it on in the June board meeting. Is that okay?
Excuse me, have we had a vote to table this, a formal vote to table this?
No, that's what I was just making sure we were good.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he made a motion.
He made a motion, so that's, but then we kind of got stuck for a second.
And I seconded it.
So I need a second.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay. 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 Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chris and Chrissy. All right, next on the agenda is the financial, and this is Cindy Cloutier.
Just in a hurry to get to me.
I was. I just want to hear your voice. The first thing we're going to talk about is the tentative budget for the 2022-2023 fiscal year.
Chad's going to pass you out a paper, but while he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start.
Okay, thank you.
The tentative budget you have in your packet is required to be approved by KDE, well, first by the board and then by KDE by May the 30th.
Thank you.
A few things to point out in the planning assumptions page are the seat base per pupil is now $4,100, an increase of $100 per pupil. Rank and step increases along with a 2% general wage increase are included for a total estimated cost of $1.4 million. Textbook funds of $83,585 to replace the lost Flex Focus funds, but we have and will have by the end of this year used 2.3 of our ESSER monies to support new textbooks adoptions. Transportation funding through SEEK was increased to 70%, up from 56%. $400,000 is budgeted for the purchase of new buses, and $100,000 for the continuation of the STEAM initiative, and $50,000 for the continuation of our apprenticeship program. That makes our total operating budget $114 million, which includes Fund 2, where the draft budget did not, and contains a budgeted contingency of all operational funds of 7.83%. KDE requires a minimum 2% contingency. Okay. What we really want to talk about tonight, you already heard from our public participation, is the general wage increase for our staff. In this tentative budget, I already mentioned that we have included a 2% for all employees, in addition to annual step increases for staff who move to the next level based on experience. We are also proposing a salary stipend of $1,000 for all contract employees that would be paid in 2 payments throughout the year. This would mean that starting July 1st of 2022, our certified staff would receive approximately 5% above their base 21-22 salary, including the stipend. That would be depending on years of experience. Certified staff will also be eligible for 4 optional days in 2022-23 that's being paid from ESSER funds. When including the 2%, the average increase for support staff will be approximately 8% with their experience and salary stipend. Okay, if you can now look at the sheet that Chad passed out to you. We are currently supported at 51% from our state SEEK funding. We will be receiving additional SEEK funding through the additional $100 per pupil this year in funding of all-day kindergarten, as shown in the additional revenue section of that sheet. These two things total $1.6 million in additional funding, which will be adequate to cover the 2% general wage increase in experience steps of $1.4 million. If you now look at the top of the spreadsheet, it shows additional expenditures where you can see all the salary costs for the experience step and the 2% raise for classified, certified, and the benefit cost of those salary increases, along with some additional items for summer maintenance projects, device replacement for students for our one-to-one initiative, and 2 additional positions that we added during the COVID for PE, 1 for PE and 1 for music. So you can see at this point that the difference is what's going out is more than what's new additional revenue coming in by $1 million. So this is where I want to emphasize the importance of passing the 4% tax increase each year, because this brings in additional property tax revenue of approximately $650,000 on top of any tax revenue that we might receive for new property. So having said all this, what we'd actually like to propose is to propose a 3% general wage increase instead of the 2%, which would cost an additional $490,000. We have a fantastic opportunity right now to give our staff a 3% general wage increase by moving the expenditure for device replacement for our one-to-one initiative out of the general fund and use our ESSER funds for the next 2 years to pay for that expense. As you heard Velvet talk about earlier, this is a time to invest in our employees. Using our additional SEEK funding to invest in our staff shows our commitment to pursuing excellence. Last thing I need to add is we still have additional considerations to make before the June board meeting and before finalizing our salary schedules. We need to make those adjustments based on the findings from our Hanover study. This will increase the salaries of certain experience steps on our schedule where we were found to be not competitive with our peer districts, and that will be in addition to our whatever general wage increase that you approve. So we'll have more detail on that in June. So to summarize all that, just in case you dozed off, the administration is proposing a 3% wage increase as well as a $1,000 salary stipend for all contracted employees. Dr. Lawson, would you like to add anything to that?
I would only like to say that as we talked about our strategic plan, we know the thing that moves our school district the most and supports our children the most are our employees. And just as she said, Ms. Cloutier has done a fantastic job being responsible with our funds. I appreciate our board supporting the 4% last year. That helps ensure that we can take raises like this and possibilities like this, that we remain financially stable and able to support our staff and remain more than competitive. That our folks know we care about them and we support them in those ways. So I would only ask the board to approve the 3% wage increase for all employees and the $1,000 stipend for next year along with our budget.
Question?
Yes. Is that $1,000 divided by 2 or $1,000 twice?
$1,000 divided by 2.
Okay.
So one at Christmas, one at the end of the school year. just as we did this year.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a point of clarification, and please correct me if I'm wrong. According to what I understand from the KSBA discussions and things like that, the legislature was asked to provide money to the school districts to provide raises at their discretion because the teachers and other employees do not work for the state, they work for the school districts. Am I mistaken somehow?
The only money they provided us is through the additional SEEK funding, through the additional 100 per pupil, and
okay,
through the fully funded kindergarten.
Okay, but the discussion was, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the superintendents asked the money be given to the school districts because the teachers do not work for the state, they work for the districts. Is that a correct understanding on my part?
I guess I'm not truly understanding what you're saying. The only money that the state gave us was that additional SEEK funding,
which is used
we want to choose to use to give to our teachers.
Is given to the districts to be used at their discretion.
Correct.
Okay.
The legislature, what has been requested from superintendents is that the legislature increase per pupil SEEK funding to support our students. It's also been requested that we have full-day kindergarten codified, and that's not a year-to-year basis, that it's codified, and that we have fully funded kindergarten permanently. And that type of funding would better prepare us to give long-term raises. In terms of, like Ms. Cloutier alluded to, when we have an increase in SEEK funding next year, we are certainly grateful for that, and we have an increase in SEEK funding the next year. For the next 2 years, we have those guaranteed. Next year, that will be for $100 per student. So, in essence, that would, in terms of, I think it's about $600,000, $700,000.
$650,000.
So that would not cover a 3% raise next year. And it certainly wouldn't cover it long term. While we're very grateful for that funding, we hope that funding will continue. That would help us in the general fund and to support our staff long term if that funding continues.
Having the ESSER money has gone a long way in helping us support our schools.
Yeah, but how long does the ESSER money last?
Through 2024. But everything we have planned in that goes away.
But you make a great point, Mr. Alice. The ESSER money won't last forever. The legislature gives a 2-year budget. That's why it's vitally important for this board to recognize the need to have the 4%. We were able to do that last year through the support of the majority of this board, and I'll ask the board to do that again this year in the coming year. That sustains us. That provides as much local support and control as we can get to make sure we can provide the step raises to our staff and to make sure that we can stay financially competitive so that our folks have a wage that keeps them here doing the great job they do and pursuing excellence in Henderson County schools.
Well, I come away with the feeling that we can afford 2%, but it gets a little sketchy when you start talking about 3%. And in the current business environment that we find ourselves in this country, I'm not personally willing to take a risk like that. You know, we have to have a credible system. We have to have a credible system of retirement and all of that sort of thing. That's part of the other part of the equation that we're not talking about. And my belief is, yeah, we've all gone through some difficult times. So are the people that are out there paying the bills. So I'm not for the 3% right now.
We can afford the 3% because we're carrying a 7.83% contingency. If you just look at general fund, the way KDE calculates it, general fund and child nutrition, we actually have a 9% contingency.
All due respect, ma'am, you're very sharp with it, and you know I have a lot of, you know, I've listened to you, and I understand what you're saying, but we have escalating prices in food and availability. I just talked with the man that runs the bus garage. We're looking at the potential for very high fuel prices and availability. Sorry, I'm going to err on the side of caution.
Well, Mr. Alvis, you also pointed out that the legislature provided those increase and passed it down to superintendents. It's nice that you provided that insight as well on transportation, because like you said, an increase in transportation will only be equaled with the high demand and high cost of transportation. But what we do have in our budget, and we do have control of, is we can keep the 4%, which we did last year, and keep moving our people forward. We have these opportunities now with ESSER to move the student renewal of the Chromebooks and the devices over to that. And in the fall, we take the 4%. It guarantees our people a 3% raise right now, which I want to advocate for this board. I want to advocate for our people again. Our people, no one outworks them. No one cares more. And if we want to keep the very best people here, we've said in our strategic plan that we want to be more than competitive.
I'm just one of 5 people.
I'm probably one of the most conservative people.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm probably one of the most conservative people that you'll meet, and I'm in favor of a 3%.
Okay, so we have the recommendation of the superintendent. Do I have a motion to pass the tentative budget for 2022-23 with a 3% wage increase and the $1,000 salary stipend? We have that on the floor. Do I hear a motion?
We accept the superintendent's recommendation with the 3%.
Second. Kirk said second, and then Mr. Alvis?
No.
No. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
3-1.
No.
3-1. So motion carried. Our next report is Cindy again, and it is the treasurer's report.
Okay, the treasurer's report for the month of April includes total receipts of $6,133,039, total expenses of $7,199,806, for a net decrease in all funds of $1,066,767. Any questions?
Any questions on the treasurer's report? Dr. Lawson?
I'd request the board approve the treasurer's report as presented by Ms. Cloutier.
Do I have a motion?
I move we accept the superintendent's recommendation.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is the paid warrant report.
The paid warrant report covers the period of April 19th through May 16th and includes total paid warrants of $4,825,610.06, with the majority being from construction and bond payments. Any questions on the paid warrants?
I'd request the board approve the paid warrant report as presented by Ms. Cloutier.
I move we accept the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
The next section is, so that is approved. Sorry. The next one is the personnel actions, and we received those in our board packet. So the next item is...
Oh, before we adjourn.
Okay.
So I looked it up. So I made a motion to table the technology plan, and it was a 2-2 vote. So please mark it in the minutes that it is approved. It requires a majority vote to table.
Oh.
It wasn't 2-2. It was 3-1.
3-1.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought I heard 2-2.
No.
Well, I'm all clogged up from allergies.
Okay.
It's 3-1.
Okay. That's okay. So I need a motion to adjourn because that's my job, but I'll let y'all do that.
I make a motion to adjourn our regularly scheduled meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Whew, I hope that wasn't painful for you all.
Great job. Ms. Williams, thank you.